In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of the assessment process and why you involve others and the learners within that. The reason I would involve others within my assessment process is to share best practice, to make sure we're all working from the same hymn sheet if you're teaching a unit with another teacher, to make sure that you are meeting what the unit requires or what the qualification specifications are. And it's good to get another person's opinion, see if the assessment process might be too hard, too easy, might not meet the criteria. So to get that and to make sure it's all clear, and then once you've got it IV'd, which is part of the college process, to have someone internally verify it, and all awarding bodies will ask you to do this, and then the EV will take a sample of that and look at the IV'd assessment process. So it's good to get a number of people to look at it to make sure you're all working on the same way. They may have taught it before, so they might have some tips to how to make it more engaging, how to make it less written heavy. And just to give students different ways of learning. The reason it's good to get students involved in the assessment process is, once again, to make sure that they understand what you're doing, to make sure that they might be able to say if it's too hard, too easy. They might have ideas on how to change it for their needs. But it's making sure once you've involved them, you've made it clear what is required, how they can achieve it. So it might be for a presentation, it might be for a written document, but it's making sure you're clear the whole way on what you want from them. And then when you're doing work within classes, you can get them to self-assess, so they can look at their own work. And once you could have given them feedback, and then they could assess what they've done to see how they could improve it. Make sure you allow them time to do this, so that they're reflecting on every bit of work, so that they understand how to improve it, what they might be missing, and just sometimes it's good to reread your work. But I find the best thing is to have peer reflections, peer observations, when they're marking each other, giving each other feedback, because students will be very honest with their friends, especially, but they will help each other. They're more likely to tell them if they're missing something, and if they're reading each other's work in particular. If they're with a stronger academic student, they might see bits that they've missed in their own bits of work, so they can use it as another form of research, or they can use it to bounce ideas off of each other for what they both might have met, and they could say, we're both missing this, how could we look at it, how could we help each other to get there? So it's a really important process to give them the chance to talk to each other, to assess what they think they're missing, what they might have got, and then before they've even submitted it, they've already kind of had a chance to upgrade it and get the highest possible grade. But it's important that you make sure that the students are aware that they're not there to absolutely tear each other apart. They're there to help each other, develop each other, and give constructive feedback. And whenever I do it, I make sure if they're going to do that, they have to give away on how to improve it, so that they're not just saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. They say this is wrong because you're missing this, so you may need to look at this, this, and this. Or I found this bit of research and this will help you with this, this, and this. So it's making sure they're working together to improve each other, to get the highest possible standard. And when they know that their peer is going to look at what they're doing, they're more likely to up their game. They're more likely to think about or reread it before they let them see it. Sometimes when they just hand it into you as a member of staff, they get a little bit lazy and they don't want to put their best piece of work. But if it's their peer, they're more likely to go, actually, I don't want them to judge me, I don't want them to do this. And that's obviously, we don't want that, but they are more likely to try and improve and get the best grade as possible.